This is a Heart and Hand production.
Hello everyone, it's David here after Rangers got a point finally in the Europa League with a 1-1 draw here tonight with Braga, a very low quality game. And it kind of feels, Kev, like Rangers threw away 2 points there. Like I said, I don't think it was a great game. Conditions were not great, it was very windy. But I actually thought that after a slow start, in which Braga could have taken the lead, that Rangers got back into it and we're actually starting to put a wee bit of pressure on towards the end of the first half, get the goal, get the penalty, go 1 up. Second half I actually felt in control. Then Braga went down to 10 men. And even at that, I think Rangers were in an excellent position. We're a goal up, they're down to 10 men. You felt like Braga weren't offering a lot going forward at that point. I really didn't. We conceded a terrible goal, Giga makes a howler. And then I thought we just completely, the last 15 minutes, to be honest, I felt we were hanging on a wee bit at the end because the chances that were made in the last 15 were made by Braga, not by us. And it's from the position that we were in, a goal up, 10 men, 20 minutes to go, we should have saw that out.
You look at the game and you see a penalty, 2 red cards, and you think, oh, that must be quite exciting.
No.
It wasn't. Like you said, a scrappy game played by two, on the night, poor sides that couldn't really pass to each other. Neither team looked like scoring. We spoke about XG during the game. We said it must be pretty low. We get the penalty. Only one man in the whole stadium, I think, seen it.
Yeah, and thankfully it was the VAR guy.
Yes, thankfully it was the man that counted. And as you say, before the game we'd have probably taken 1 all right, given our European performances. But to be 1-0 up at home versus 10 men, you think, see this out. We don't. We then lose all sort of shape. And as you said, Braga looked like the only team that were going to win it, and we questioned many times who has got the extra man here.
Yeah, that was the annoying thing. We just didn't play sensibly at all with the 11v10, didn't take advantage of it, and in fact they looked more sprightly, and of course they got the boost and we got the blow of the goal. Howler from Giga, he's got to make the header. In the end, he not only takes it, misplaces ahead of it, he takes it away from Tab being able to clear it, and it squeezes in. And then after that, I just don't think there was any. I can't remember us having a good opportunity. Maybe there was one from a set piece, but this Rangers team is. I don't see where the goals come from at most games, but at this level in particular, because there's just no threat in the side. And you know, it's beating a dead horse, but anybody who was wondering why Kevin Thelwell got sacked, then you just look at that tonight. Let's go through that squad in detail. Now, okay, it's the third and fourth choice defenders, and I do have to say that I thought the big man Fernandez done fine. Yep. I didn't have many issues with him tonight at all. Thought he looked quite comfortable. Giga's, he's dreadful. I mean, the only positive I can find for him is that he's not our player.
Yes. Again, you were describing a goal where we lost earlier in the season where Giga had the ball over the top of his head and Butland never came out, and I asked you which one.
Yeah.
Very similar tonight where he lost the flight of the ball in the air. It was windy, but still you should be dealing with that. Mm-hmm. Again, it comes from a bit of poor play from Max Aarons that forced us back. We lose the throw and then it just continues and unravels, and our defending is appalling. And
him, I just can't. Aarons at all, I can't see. He seems to have one move, which is he gets the ball, he runs slightly into the opposition half, stops, turns around and passes it to centre back every single time. That's what he does. The midfield is at best functional, but very low in terms of attacking quality. None of them tonight. And again, you know, I would accept conditions as it's just to a degree, except that they're like that normally. Their passing accuracy is poor, and it's not even like they're attempting, you know, through balls and difficult forward passes. It's just bad ball retention, and up front we've got nothing. There is just no threat in that side at times. Gassama tried his best, but Danilo non-event. Chermite, I think that, you know, we try to be fair on here, and we try, you know, not to beat up on he's a young guy or the rest of it, but just judging Chermite as a footballer, just nothing there. He would have been a bad signing at £1 million, never mind at 8. I don't see anything in him at all. He runs about a bit, and that's it. He's a nothing footballer. He adds nothing, and he's not alone. Miovski doesn't add much either. Danilo, I don't get at all. We are so devoid of threat.
We're a team that's void of creativity.
Yeah.
We've got 20 million worth of strikers. There's not 5 million worth there. If you take the price tag and the sort of emotion out of Chermiti, you'd say he looks like a young player that would like to go on loan to a lower level just to try and maybe rebuild that confidence, because the half chances he had tonight, they were snatched at, or it was the wrong option, and it's just, you could tell he's overthinking anything he has. People will come in here and say, I thought he was alright and he did his best.
People are obviously wanting to back the boy, and it's honourable, and we have to, I suppose, but I'm just going on what I see as a footballer, and I'm sorry, he just looks a really poor footballer.
If you come up against him, you're like...
And I can't go back, as you might be able to do with others, and go, well, look what he did here. So I can only really go on what I'm seeing here, and I'm seeing nothing.
We've tried various scenarios, we've tried various pairings, we've tried various midfield options, and for whatever reason the side is just not functioning and creating anything.
But yeah, this is the thing, right? And earlier in the season, Russell Martin and stuff, I don't think that side could work anyway tactically. I don't think he knew what he wanted really, and it was a mess. But I don't think it was shape or tactic, and they worked hard enough. I don't want to sound churlish there, because it's true. They worked hard enough. That's how they've ended up getting a result of sorts, because they put in the effort. But in terms of just actual quality, in terms of just actual, this is Europa League level, I just don't see it.
And we've seen some great nights here over the years, spoiled in many ways. This is a pale imitation of a Rangers side that's appeared in this competition recently. Braga were not great.
No, we should have beaten them.
They were there for the taking, especially 1-0 up at home. As I go back to with 10 men, there's just no real excuse. And the fact that was a penalty or only shot and goal of note. I mean, the keeper had some sort of pass back
minor saves. Yeah, I don't remember. There was certainly no really glaring miss that I can think of. I'll watch the game back, folks, and I might be wrong. I'm just here at the moment. But we keep saying this because it's true. Really, with Danny Rill, it's just try and get through to January, because I think everyone can see what he's working with.
And it's not a lot.
There's just not much there.
If you want to be positive for the weekend, you've got maybe Bayrami to come back in, maybe Nsiala to offer a wee bit of balance in that defence. That's me clutching.
Well, if Nsiala went in, no, he's for him and Fernandez are both left-sided, so you lose balance by putting him in. Strange one with Magoma. I don't think he's great, but he's better than what Aarons gave us.
Yeah, he's literally their only left back. As I said before the game, maybe it is just a sort of, we're prioritising the league, and he's played a lot of minutes, far more than someone at his age probably expected to play coming on loan here.
Maybe when he saw he was the only left back the Rangers were apparently going to bother with. And yeah, it was just, as I say, a kind of frustrating. It was a poor game of football. Not that we would care if we hung on and got the win, but scrappy, misplaced passes, and I don't think that either side would consider that they played remotely well. But a goal up against 10 men in a poor match, you see that out.
Yeah. You can't really blame anything else apart from yourself, because say you go back and you watch the series events.
Well, you're not being done by a bit of quality.
No.
You're done by a mistake.
Yeah,
something you should have sorted.
Yeah, many times, and we go back to it as a game of poor quality on both sides. Weather didn't help, but that was not the cause of why we didn't play well.
And like I say, the issue that we have under Danny Rule, he's clearly trying to spark and work something, but I just, with the exception of maybe Moore, who of course would be the one who's injured, it's never the pish ones, you just look at it and where do the goals come from? Because set pieces, give us opportunity, and then occasionally there was a nice bit of play in the first half where Danilo should have done a bit better, although I don't think it was a great ball from Diamande. I'll need to watch it back, but nowhere near enough.
No. we said, and I think you said to me after about 35 minutes, that's our first shot on target.
Yeah.
From there we had a wee bit more possession further forward, but never really threatened. The chance you mentioned just before half time, of course we get the goal from the penalty. You think that will kick you on, but with this Rangers team, they have a sort of mentality to settle sometimes and think jobs are done well before they are.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, as I say, we were, at the time of the red card, I thought we looked pretty comfortable. And then afterwards, we should have seen, that's what I mean about seeing it, because it wasn't like they were on top and they had a red card. But then after the goal, I thought we kind of felt a bit, really.
And they never even done the whole backs to the wall thing. They
they came out and they looked, and Jack Butland's made an error, then a save at the end. I mean, that could easily have gone in when Butler's flapped at that one. So I think, a point was a fair result. I don't think either team deserved to win or to lose. I think a point was a fair result. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Again, we said to each other in the first half that if we could just have a wee vote and just take a point each,
probably just have settled for it and saved everybody the bother. Diamandi red card at the end. We haven't seen it. I mean, it just looked like a challenge for the ball, but referees these days seem to see things.
He was a bit up and down, that referee, wasn't he? One time he was all us, then all them.
Then he was all them, yeah. He was a little maybe balancing it out, I don't know. If he swung an elbow, he swung an elbow, and it's a daft thing to do. But another poor performance from him. I'm struggling to pick out anybody that I thought. And as I say, I don't want to ever go and say, they weren't trying. They were. It's just, you can't fault them for perspiration, but inspiration's lacking in that side.
I mean, go back to the red card with Raskin. The boy again moves his head towards him, doesn't catch him, but it's a red all day long.
I mean, it is same as a penalty. We might not like the rules, but they are the rules.
Yeah.
I must admit, when that VAR check for them went, I went, this is bound to be a penalty. Haven't seen it back. It was T-shirt line, thankfully.
You can see why they appealed, though. Their bench was absolutely nuts.
Totally. But when I saw it, I was like, right, fair enough. Actually, we're okay there. But so a disappointment for Rangers, a match that we really should have won. I suppose it's progress.
It is. That's the first point on the board.
First point finally on the board. So I suppose
off the bottom of the table as well. So
I mean,
a good night.
Everything's coming up, Millhouse. Right, folks. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We can't bring you the press conference yet because of UEFA rules. Sorry about that. It's not like our usual match, but you'll be able to get that on the Rangers website. Kevin, thank you for joining me.
Thank you as always.
And Cammy will be here to unpack this tomorrow. Thanks for listening, everyone. Safe home. Bye-bye.
That was a Heart and Hand production.